Okay, so this is part 2 of my bulb haul video, and in this one I'm going to show you how to pot up these two complementary bulbs which will provide a longer flowering season in the particular bulb that I'm using. So let's get into it. So the bulbs that I'm using are these Fritillaria and these narcissus tete, simply because the yellow in the Fritillaria matches the yellow in the daffodil, and then if they kind of come up around the same time, which probably they won't, the daffodils will be done and then the Fritillaria will come up, but if they are flowering at the same time, they're going to look really nice, really pretty. And so all we need for the next step is a nice pot, terracotta I'm going to use, but anything weatherproof, and some compost, and I'm going to use some crocks to stop the hole being blocked up by the soil and the roots, and that will allow for drainage. This is my homemade compost. I didn't really know what I was doing when I started this big compost heap, so it has all sorts of things in there, and also my children throw all the when they clean out the rabbit, who sadly passed just last week, after 9.5 years. Bless him. It was so sad. But anyway, his bedding, they always throw that in there, and his food and his droppings and everything. So I had a hard time getting the straw out because they put the straw on the top, and as I was trying to get the compost from underneath, all the straw and the sawdust from his bedding was falling in. So that was a bit of a nuisance, really. But anyway, it's more than adequate soil for the bulbs. They will not mind it at all, and it's just got plenty of interesting matter and nutrients in there. But I am going to break up the bigger lumps, as you can see. So the first, I brought it up to about I think this, I don't know, it's about a 10-inch deep pot, this, and I brought it up sort of the first 6 inches really, and then I'll put the bulbs, I'm going to push the bulbs in the daffodils. So the daffodils will go in first because they're going to flower first, and then I'm going to, at a not really that much higher depth really, I'm just going to gently push in the smaller Fritillaria bulbs around. I'm not especially going to layer it. Sometimes you will need to do different layers. It might mean these come up together, but honestly I don't mind because they're so well matched. I actually don't mind. Obviously in a pot you want it to be full, so you are going to want to cram them in. Not cram them in, you don't want them touching each other or the sides of the bowl, but you do want to put in as many as you can possibly get away with, to make it look like a really nice display. We'll see. Anyway, I mean, I will definitely, when these come up next spring, well, two things. One, I wanted to work out which are good bulbs, because I haven't used either of these brands before. So one is from Dobby's, the tete from the garden centre Dobby's. So I'm pretty sure they will be from a very good source. And the narcissus tete, were they from there as well? No, sorry, the Fritillaria were from Aldi, which is obviously a budget supermarket. So, and they're not a garden centre. So how specialist they are at sourcing their bulbs, time will tell. But one thing I do is I note all of this down, and I'm going to show you my gardening notebook, which you can buy from Amazon. I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm just anchoring the little Fritillaria bulbs between the daffodil bulbs. They're not going down as far as you can see, and then we'll top dress them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to now record everything that I've done and that I've put in this pot, how many, where they're from, what they are, and then I'll know when they come to bloom, A, what they are, and B, whether they're worth trying again, or whether I could try something differently, or maybe whether I should have planted them at more distinct levels and layers and so on. And that's what I use my gardening book for. and also writing down suppliers, and you know, even bad suppliers, so that you don't go back to them, because the internet's a huge thing. You go on it, you cannot possibly remember all the websites you've been on when you're shopping for bulbs. That way you're not repeating your mistakes, and your you know, your garden can evolve and improve rather than just keep going over the same territory. So here it is. It's a peony design, and it's pretty robust. It's got your, obviously, your overview of your year: spring, summer, autumn, winter. Then you've got the spare pages for some notes, maybe your plans or ambitions are. Then you've got spring. It's color coded, so when you're flicking through the book, you can see at a glance. You've got spring, you've got summer is blue, autumn is this rustic color, rust color, and then which is where I'm putting my notes for my pots. And then you've got winter here. Then you've got some more notes at the back for anything extra you might want to add, and you've got your supplier list, so you can put all your suppliers, where you bought the bulbs, which shop, when, and how they performed. And it's pretty robust. It's a good size, and it's also waterproof on this outside cover. I mean, you couldn't submerge it or anything like that, or drench it, but you get a bit of water off, you can just brush it off. It's kind of a slightly plasticky cover, so it's pretty good for that. And it's sold via Amazon Prime, so you can get it pretty quick, but it's only available in the UK and the USA store at the moment. Anyway, so we're just going to finish off top dressing this pot now with the remaining compost. We'll, you know, we'll fill it almost up, because it will settle down once it gets wet, but I'm not going to water it until it's in place. In fact, you don't even need to water it at this stage, really. It just needs to be in the dark, so that the roots, the shoots, not roots, shoots germinate. But also the roots need to do some work as well, and the dark helps with that process. So that's the main reason for covering it at this stage. And I'm just going to do another one quickly now, so that I've got a matching pair, and I will also note that in my notebook. Okay, and finally I'm going to protect this from my dreadful pets, who I love dearly. I've got 2 digging terriers and a digging pussycat, and they will tear up all my pots, every single one of them, if I don't cover them with this. And I found this is the best way to do it, this chicken wire. So I bought this chicken wire, I think I got it from Amazon. It's about 40 quid, but I mean, I've had it now for 4 years. I'm still going strong, and I've even built a chicken coop with it. So I have plenty of that, and all I do is I take my little pliers and I cut round the top, or I reuse a piece from last year, and then I will bend it around over the pot, and that is enough now to deter the animals. It just sends a signal, and they just don't bother. They don't sort of take it off or anything like that. I've tried putting sticks and things over it and stones, but that doesn't seem to deter them at all. But this certainly does. And then once the shoots start coming up, they don't tend to dig at it anyway. It's just nothing more appealing to them than a bare brown soil. It's just, it calls to them, and then I call to them afterwards and chase them around the garden. I'm so cross. So anyway, thanks again for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, subscribe, click the notification bell and like, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching.